Hi, so this is the first video in the GCSE Algebra Basics series I'll be doing. The video covers the very basics, the introduction to algebra at GCSE level, and throughout the series I'm going to be making more tutorials on advanced topics such as swapping equations, simultaneous equations, graphing, but that's not now, that'll be in the later tutorials. And many students struggle at algebra because they look at equations and they just look like a mess. All these different letters and symbols just doesn't make sense, but I'm going to introduce it in a way that it'll make it easy for students to understand right from the beginning. So I'm going to introduce the very basics of algebra, and we're going to start with why was algebra created and what is its use. So basics, right? So algebra was created many years ago by mathematicians, and it's been adapted to modern algebra, which is very different from what you'd ever be used to seeing. But algebra's got a wide range of uses. People usually in school, people say, well, where am I going to use this in life? Well, people use, it's a bit cliched, but people use algebra throughout their life, and they don't really know where they use it. They just use it, and they know, because when I give an equation such like 5, what can I add to 5 to get 10? Now, you'll probably be able to look at this yourself and say, well, 5 plus 5 is 10. Right? But as soon as I start introducing things like 5x, 5 plus x equals 10, people think, how am I going to solve this? And they think techniques, I've got to do this, I've got to take the one over to the other side, I've got to balance. And so that's going to complicate them. But as long as you remember that it's not hard, it's just that you shouldn't really be scared by algebra at all, or you just think about it as just everyday concepts that are changed in a way to be able to adapt to any scenario. These symbols, letters, they can be used in a wide range of scenarios and are really useful. So if you master algebra at this level, you'll be able to pass your GCSE exams and go on to do A level and go on to do chemistry, physics, computer science, or even if you don't do that, it's used everywhere. Economics, accounting, marketing, it's just used everywhere. Algebra is used everywhere, and this is the very basics. So mastering the basics is very important, because if you don't get the basics, then you're going to struggle later on, and it'll just be like a kink in the armor. There'll be a crack, and then you'll struggle. Anyway, so right, first thing I'm going to be talking about is what is a variable. So now that's just a fancy word which I've conjured up, and in high school you have things. So if I say to you, I have 5 bananas, and I want to add 4 bananas. No, actually, we'll say apples. 5 apples. 5 apples. Add. We'll say 2 apples. How many apples do I have? So I have, 5 apples. Add 2 apples. You're gonna say, well, this is really easy. You just put them over, and you get 7 apples. 7 apples, right? But I might not want to write apples all the time, because writing apples it could be, I could have to write shopping lists, and I could have to write all these words, and it just gets really elongated, and I might not always have apples. I might change to bananas, whatever. So I introduce a variable, and it's the same thing. It means the same thing, but they're just very flexible. So I say, okay, instead of apples, I want to say A is just means an apple. This is algebra, essentially. The very basics. This is exactly what algebra is. It's letting variables equal some quantity or some object or something like that, but they're very useful. So instead of writing 5 apples plus 2 apples, sorry. I'll have 5a plus 2a, instead of 5 apples plus 2 apples. Now I have 5 apples plus 2 apples. Now, what do? We just add the numbers. So 5 plus 2 gives us 7 apples. And don't forget, you need to keep this, because we can't go change into B or something, because it'll be like, what's 7b? I haven't said what B was. I haven't, so you have to stay consistent. Okay, this is how you add up, essentially how you add up, which I'll come on to operations in a minute, but this is essentially how you use variables and what they're used for. And see, this could change to bananas, pears, whatever. It doesn't matter what letter I use. It does not matter what letter I use. I could use B, I could use C, I could D, whatever. Doesn't matter. As long as you get the concept that these things, we're just adding objects here. We're just adding things, just apples, bananas, whatever, pears, whatever. All you do is you just get rid of the stupid terminology out of the head. It's just, it might be confusing at the start, but don't worry, it'll be fine. We'll get there. That's what you do, okay? And so, I don't know why I'm rubbing that out. And so, we have operations in algebra, which are exactly like adding up numbers. You have your addition, you add your things, you add your apples. You have subtraction, you take away your apples, you divide things. So I want to split one pizza up into 5 people. I have 5 pizzas divided by 5 people. Yeah, instead of pizzas, I could say that P equal pizza, let my variable equal pizza. Then I'd have 5 pizzas divided by 5 people, Well, obviously, if you just use your head and think, how can I use this? Well, obviously you'll come to the assumption it's as 1 pizza per person, isn't it? 5 pizzas between 5 people, 1 pizza. It's just adding these symbols in, which makes it look complicated, but it's not. It's just another way of viewing things. And like I said, they're very flexible and they can be manipulated to many different scenarios. So obviously, and I have multiplication. So it works the same way. Right, so that's what operations are. And then that comes to the technique, something called collecting like terms, okay? Collecting like terms. So what's collecting like terms? So collecting like terms is someone would give you a statement. In maths, we usually refer to the statement as it's not an equation. It'll just be they'll just give you some variables, and you need to add them up or whatever, and you want to know how to simplify these things, okay? So the first thing I'm going to start off with is addition. How do we add variables up? How do we add these up? So, like I said, don't worry about what the letter is. So step one, forget about the letter. So forget about the letter or numbers or combination about the letters. So not about numbers. Forget about them. Just think of them as objects. Doesn't matter. A, B, C, it's all the same thing. They're just names for things. Okay? And step 2, you just add like normal. Add like normal, okay? You add the numbers up and you keep the letter at the end of the numbers so you still know what you're adding up. So, for instance, we'll go to our questions. So, what's B plus B plus B? Well, if I say, you might think, how do I do it? Well, we'll say, for instance, to start with, I'll just exercise. We'll say, let B equal a banana. Let B equal a banana. And so, I'm sure it's spelling banana right there. Yeah, that is how you spell banana. I'm going crazy. Let B equal a banana. Well, what's B plus B plus B? Well, what is B? B is the same as b is the same as 1 times b. So banana in algebra, we say this is our terminology, new terminology. So we got new terminology. So new terminology here. In algebra b, we say b is the same as 1 times b. Okay? So when you're adding things up, if you ever see b, think of it as one banana, okay? Any letter on its own is just one of the objects. So example A could be an apple. Then A is the same as having A is the same as having one apple. One lots of apples. I've just got one apple. Okay, it's just shorthand because it'll help in the future, and you don't have to write 1 times 1 banana plus 5, but by just writing the letter, it'll save writing. It's just used to save. It's just used to save time. Okay, it's the same thing. It's just used to save time. So remembering that fact, I've got what's b plus b plus b. Now b could be anything. B could be a banana. We'll say b is a banana. Okay, don't think of it as, just think of it as anything, right? Banana, object, pencil, whatever. What's 1 banana plus 1 banana plus 1 banana? Well, I've got 1 banana, 1 plus 1 plus 1, so I've got 3. And then don't forget, I've got 3. Don't forget to put your variable at the end. I've got 3 bananas, because if you go around putting 3c, then that just complicates things, because you've changed from b to c, and then whoever's reading it's like, what's going on here? You've changed from b to c, and that's just stick with b, whatever they give you in the question. Okay, and then you don't go around complicating things. Okay, so that's the first question. Okay, the second question I'm going to do is a subtraction question. Okay, subtraction question. Okay, so we've done addition. Okay, so you forget about letters, you add like normal. Oops, sorry, I spelled add wrong. Like normal. Subtraction's the same thing. Okay, so subtraction. And obviously, I want to just remind you that when you add, you add the numbers in front of the letters. Okay, and then right at the end, just to make sure we're clear about what we've been and that we stick the letter back in, right? So subtraction is the same thing. So you forget about the letters, you add like normal, or subtract like normal in our case. So subtract like normal, the sub, and then you put the numbers. When I mean add, I mean put, not literally, add. Just stick the numbers next to stick the letters next to the numbers at the end. So just so you're clear about what's going on. Okay. So example, I've got. So this is our next question here. So we've already done this one. So this one's done. And we're on our next question. So I've got 3b minus b. Now remember, 3b minus b. I'm just going to move this up so it's not in the way. Put it up there. So 3b minus b. Remember, like I said, b is the same as 1b. Okay, I've got a banana or I've got 1 banana. It's the same thing. It's just shorthand. It saves time. Okay, so this is the same as 3. So this is question 2. The same as 3 bananas minus 1 banana. If I have 3 bananas and I take away 1 banana, how many bananas do I have left? I have 2. I have 2 bananas. So don't forget to put your variable on the end. Otherwise, people are going to forget. So it's easy. Dead easy. You add the numbers in front of it. So in this case, there's a hidden 1 here, which we don't actually write, but it's there. So then 3 minus 1 is equal to 2 bananas. You don't want to forget that. Bananas, okay? And of course, you can mix variables around. So if I have a banana and a carrot, and I want to add a banana and a carrot, so say if I had, again, don't worry about the letters, just pretend, say B's banana, C's carrot, whatever. If I have a banana and I add a carrot, well, I can't, because they're 2 different fruit. I don't get 3 bananas, 2 bananas. I still get the same thing, don't I? I just get banana and a carrot. So it's the same. one banana and a carrot. You can't. So essentially, you can't mix letters around in algebra because these letters could be different things. This might not be the same as this, so you can't mix them around. Okay, so if you've got two different variables, banana B, C, banana, carrot, whatever, you can't mix them around. So you just have to keep them the same. Okay. So if I have, for instance, if I have two bananas, 2b plus one banana, so 2b plus b plus c, what do I have? Well, remember, like I said, I have to separate the two variables out. So firstly, I want to add the bananas up. So 2 plus 1 is 3. And then what do I have? So this is done. So I've done this part, and then I've got the second part here. Well, I've got 1 carrot plus c. Well, I can't do anything with that. I can't mix the B's and C's. You can't mix fruit. You just, like I said, so you have to add it. So you still get the carrots, okay? So 2 bananas plus 1 banana plus a carrot is 3 bananas and a carrot, okay? That's how you do that. So, with that in mind, we'll do this question. So what's B plus 2B plus B minus C? Well, the first step I do here is I take care of the B variable. I can do whatever I want, but because the B's in front, I'm going to do the B variable. So I'm going to write this here. Right, so 1B plus 2B plus B. So I've got 1 plus 2 plus 1, which is 3, plus 1, which is 4B. And what do I have left over? I'm taking away 1 carrot. So I started off with 4 bananas and I'm taking away a carrot. Well, you just do the same thing. Remember before I said when you add and when you subtract, you just add the numbers and you add the numbers and you forget. So this is the same as having, this is the same. So if I'm taking away a carrot, this is the same as saying I have 0 carrots, right? 0 lots of carrots, and I'm taking away a carrot. What do I have? I have 0 minus 1 is just minus. Pretend there's, like I said, with minus signs, minus C. Remember, whenever you see a letter on its own, so C is 1C. So if I'm taking away minus C, is the same as minus 1C, right? Remember from numbers? So when you're doing minus 5, it's the same as saying plus minus 5, right? Remember when I'm taking away? Or plus 1 times, and this is the same as, remember 5 is just the same as 1 times 5? So minus 5 is just the same as minus 1 times 5, right? That's how we deal with these as well. So this is minus C. So I've got 4 bananas and I'm taking away a banana. I can't do anything with this. It's a different letter, so I'm left with the minus 1. That's how many carrots I've got left. I've got 1 less carrot left, so I'm left with minus 1 carrot. Okay, that's what we do there. Okay, and it's the same with any other letters. So D, 1D or D minus 2D. So I've got 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. So I'm left with minus 1D. And again, don't worry about the 1. We forget about the 1 because it's extra writing that we don't care about. So we forget about the 1 and we just get rid of the 1. It's the same thing, and you just write D just to save yourself writing, okay? And with the final question, I've got 1 apple, and A, which is 1A, add 0 lots of A. Well, because I'm adding 0 lots of A, I'm adding nothing to A. So this is 0 times A. I'm left with 1A. Okay, so just A. So anything add 0, anything. So X add 0X is just X, or Y minus 0, Y is just Y. Okay. And remember, don't forget, this number is multiplying by your variable. 2 lots of bananas. 2 times B, 2 lots of bananas, 2 D's, 2 dogs, whatever. Okay? Alright, so that's addition and subtraction. Multiplication and division work pretty much the same way. It's just instead of adding or subtracting the numbers in front of the letters, what you do is you divide or you multiply the numbers in front of the letters. Okay, so we're going to cover multiplication and division next time, hope in the next video. And so I encourage you to go and have a go pause the video, make some numbers up for yourself. So make some numbers up for yourself. So you could just like make a random number up. So 11, and make a letter up, whatever letter you want. So 11, E, add 2E. How many E's do I have? And mix some letters in as well. Remember the rule for mixing? You can't mix them. So you can't mix the letters. You still have to write them out in full. So 11F plus 2F plus 1F or F is equal, plus say 5A is equal to, remember? So you deal with the A's, so 5A, and then you deal with the F's. 11, 2, 1, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay? Don't forget to write it on the end, okay? Have a go at some of them, make some numbers up, come back when you feel you're ready, and we'll go through multiplication and division in the next tutorial. Alright, thanks. Bye.